Before we start working with the menu editor and the customizer, let me take a quick sidebar and talk about navigation in general. Apart from the actual content, navigation is one of the most important components of your site. Good navigation leads people where they want to go, and great navigation helps people find things they didn't know they were looking for. Bad navigation drives people away. So, how do you make great navigation? To be honest, I could make an entire course on this topic and kinda have in mapping the modern web design process, but in simple terms, it has to do with two things: mapping our content and understanding the end user. Before you make navigation, you need to know what content you have and how people would most easily get to that content. That requires mapping out all your content on post-it notes or in a spreadsheet or in a graphic, and doing some user research to find out what people think is the most logical way of getting from point A to point B. I often get people to do card sorting exercises for my site. On a deck of cue cards, I write items I think should be in my menus, and then I get people to sort them, edit them, and add or remove items to create structures that make sense to them. Doing this with multiple people will give you a clearer picture of what logical menu structure looks like to the people who will actually use the menu, and you'll be surprised how different this is with the exact same menu items and the exact same content. It's also important to consider how people will be accessing your site. Up until a few years ago, you could rest assured that most people would use a computer and either a mouse or a touchpad. Today, that's no longer the case. More and more, we have to assume people access our sites using either a smartphone or a tablet, and with that comes new challenges. Drop-down menus don't work well or sometimes at all on touchscreen devices, and with small screen real estate, you don't really have room for gigantic drop-down menus anymore. Now, a lot of this can be resolved by using a theme that takes a mobile-first approach to web design and provides proper, accessible, mobile-ready menus. But the other part, creating a menu that actually makes sense to your users, is up to you. To get started, consider this. Try to make your menu as simple as possible. Maybe make it a single-level accessible menu. If you have a lot of items, figure out how to either condense them into groups or find other ways of providing navigation, either by creating pages with subpages or by adding menus to your sidebars.